Hello and welcome to Forevere Rugby on Forevere Sports for today's preview as the URC playoffs kick off this weekend and there is a South African derby in one of the four quarterfinals. The Sharks traveling up to Pretoria to face the Bulls at Loftus Festival. Kickoff is at 1:45 South African Standard Time. We will be live for both the Sharks versus Bulls as well as the Stormers versus Edinburgh match later on during the day. And it should be very interesting as we sort of now start to see, can the SA teams go all the way? Can they take that final step and get themselves some silverware in their inaugural season of the United Rugby Championship ahead of all three of these teams then moving into the Heineken Cup next season with the announcement yesterday that the Stormers, Sharks, Bulls will be moving into the Champions Cup, whilst the Lions as well as the Cheetahs will also be included in the European Challenge Cup from next season. Before we look at the two teams for this weekend and sort of look at see who is playing where, please do subscribe to the channel. Please do smash a like on the video as well. Please make sure you come and join us throughout the weekend for all the watch-alongs. Let's try and have a really good time as we sort of wind down the club season as it sort of reaches peak and then really gear ourselves up towards the international season, which kicks off in July. In terms of the two teams tomorrow, we will start with the home side, which is the Bulls, and this is how they do line up. And starting to find quite a lot of consistency within the team selection from Jake White. It is a side that over the sort of the last year, you can see they were very much trying to, sort of find out where their best squad is in terms of a lot of rotation, a lot of, and there used to be certain positions they rotate a lot. For example, the centers, they would often rotate centers and wings in and around there. They'd often rotate loose trios, for example, and front row obviously was something as well that Jake White used to tweak quite a lot. But as the URC has gone on, you can see he's sort of more settled on in terms of his best 15, his best 23 of players he believes can get the job tomorrow against the Sharks. So if we look at Gerard Steenekamp, Jan Kobela and Morne Smith will be the starting front row, while Steenekamp, Bruno Nokia, probably one of the most consistent lock duos rather in the entire tournament. Actually, they've been very good. They've been very consistent. Bruno Nokia, somebody who I think will very likely be named in the box squad when it is announced after the URC campaigns for the South African sides do come to an end. Master Seal catch him the side. Ono Buerta comes in at number 7 and partners Ulrich Lowe, 8th man, who's been part of the Springbok preparation camps and could also very well be earning a call-up sometime this year. The halfback pairing is Zach Berger with Chris Smith. Chris Smith has been the favourite fly half for the majority of the URC, but Morne Steyn has come onto the bench to provide that experience in the latter stages of the match. The very exciting Madosh Tambwe, someone who's probably potentially up for, like a URC Player of the Year nominee, for example. Definitely would have been one of the Bulls' best players throughout the season. Is in the number 11 jersey. David Creel is in the opposite wing in the 14 jersey. Kanan Moody will start at fullback, the very exciting youngster, sort of playing in instead of Curtly Orenzo, who's currently still sidelined with injury. And I've been very impressed with Kanan Moody because I think that he's someone who possesses a lot of very good attacking attributes, but I've been pretty impressed with his defensive work as well. I think he's a very talented youngster and a massive prospect for South African rugby. And your two centers are Harold Forster being partnered by Cornel Hendricks, who is just Mr. Consistency. Week in, week out, he brings in that 8 9 out of 10 performances. And I'm sure we'll see a very consistent and good game from him tomorrow. Off the bench, the very exciting youngster, Jan Hendrik Wessels, is the replacement hooker. Then you've got Lizo Goboka and Robert Hunt as your two replacement props. Janko Swanepoel, Renard Ludwig, the youngster, as their two replacement forwards. And then you've got Imbro Sapir, Mornestein, and Stedman Gans. And I think Imbro Sapir and Mornestein are very shrewd selections off the bench because this is player of rugby. This is seeing the game off. This is killing a game management. This is all what playoff rugby is about. It's about getting yourself into good positions. And two things. If you're chasing a game, it's about staying calm, getting yourself into point scoring positions, taking those opportunities. If you're in the lead, it's about building that lead or managing the game, making sure that you take the point scoring opportunities away from them. You play in the right areas. And I think that Imbro Pierre, Morne Steyn have got very good boots, very reliable boots, and they've been there, they've done that. Their international pedigree. I think Imbro Pierre for is someone who I've been very impressed with throughout the tournament, and Morne Steyn is Mr. Calm. And Esteban Gans, not necessarily the experienced part of him, but a very exciting player and a very reliable player. He has been for the Bulls. In terms of the Sharks side that they will be up against, this is how they do line up. Once again, also a little bit like the Bulls, starting to find a bit of a tried and tested formula. And at the end of the day, on paper, the Sharks side is better than the Bulls. I still think the Bulls are probably favourites because they're playing at home, and I think that they've been more consistent in terms of their performance they bring week in, week out. On paper, this team has everything it needs to beat this Bulls side, though. The question is, will they rock up? Will they bring their A game tomorrow? And that's been the kind of the issue the entire tournament, just in terms of not quite always being able to bring the level of performance required or even merited in terms of the quality that they've got. So if you look at the front row, it's that awesome Springbok front row of Oxenchair, Bongi Benambi, and Thomas Toy, who captains the side. They've gone with a heavyweight pack. Leroux Roots and Reniel Hugo bring a lot of physicality to the game, especially somebody like Leroux Roots, who is just an absolute monster of a player. Loose trio, Sia Khaleesi, Henko Fenton, and Pepsi Buthelezi, hard-working loose trio, very, very hard-working. They're players who like ball in hand, they like to do the hard yards, and they'll be very physical. Sia Khaleesi will hit a lot of rucks. Pepsi Buthelezi will carry the ball a lot. Henko Fenton will do a lot of the hard yards as well. Jaden Hendricks, Cohen Bosch partner each other. Both players who are probably under a little bit of a microscope. Jaden Hendricks not been playing terribly, but very much not, for me, hitting the standards that we've come to expect from him. I think he's got a lot more that we can see, and we know we can see from Hendricks than what he's currently playing at the moment. But hopefully this sort of occasion brings the best out of him. And Cohen Bosch has had an up and down season. A lot of Sharks fans saying that he's a bit of an issue in terms of his inconsistencies. So I think that obviously he'll need to have a good game tomorrow. But then there's just so many Springboks, littered across this backline. Marcus Ulma, Pimpy, Werner Koch, the two wings. Werner Koch's grown in leaps and bounds throughout the season. Marius Lowe, Lekanyo Am, the two centers. Lekanyo Am is going to have to stand up tomorrow. He would have been captaining the side had he not gone on his sabbatical to Japan. And then Uplele Fassi, the very exciting fullback. I think he needs to have a good game because my frustration with Fassi is on the attack, we all know what he's got. He's probably the best counter-attacking fullback in the country. He's got pace. He's got X factor. He's very good in tight spaces, and he's very fast and he's got a good step on him. But defensively, he has been found wanting a few times. And if you want to play international rugby, you have to step up defensively. You have to step up, make big tackles. You have to be reliable, especially if he wants to play at fullback at an international level. I think the Springboks very much rate him as a wing at the moment because, it kind of removes as much sort of defensive responsibility. But to play for the Springboks, who are a defensive-driven side and a side who are very much, we don't care how big you are, how small you are, that you draw a line in the sand and you stand up. He needs to bring that side of his game to him if he wants to have an international career. Because the other day he was bounced off towards in the build-up of a try and was far too easy, and he's got to remove that part from his game. Off the bench for the Sharks, Kieran van Vuuren into Tukum Kunu, and Kutum Kunu will be trying to sort of counteract a pretty exciting Bulls replacement front row in the likes of Kopoka and Hendrik Wessels. Ruben van Heerden and Sika Noche, I think, are very nice players being off the bench. I'm very surprised in many ways Ruben van Heerden doesn't start. And Sika Noche is a fantastic player. Can inject some pace into the game. He's very athletic, got a very good soft skills, from that sevens background. And then you got Grant Williams, Buddha Chamberlain, and Ben Tapawahi. And I think that those three players, especially the Sharks chasing a game, will be able to turn the game on its head. Grant Williams, we saw a couple of weeks ago just how much of an impact he can have. Buddha Chamberlain, in many ways, has been the more consistent fly half throughout the season. And then Ben Tapawahi is Australian international cap player. He knows he's been there, he's done that, and he'll be very reliable for them to be able to call on them. In terms of predictions, I think it's going to be the Bulls. I have a funny feeling that the Sharks are going to not rock up. And I think the Bulls will rock up. But let me know what your score predictions are down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon.